Hello there, and welcome to episode 32 of Adventures in Knitting with Jenn. My name is Jenn, and this is my little knitting corner where I'm talking about what I'm making, what I want to make, and all those fun knitting yarny things. I hope you had a good 2 weeks. I had a very, very eventful 2 weeks. So yeah. This past weekend, it was one of my friend's wedding, and so I went out had to travel to Toronto for that, and it was so nice. Oh, just to see him, he's so happy. Oh, yeah, he's married a good woman. I only met her on the wedding, but she seems like a really nice girl, and yeah, I'm confident they're going to have many years of happiness together. So yeah, that was lots of fun. It's always stressful, because if you're new here, I teach way up north. And so traveling to Toronto is quite the process. It's 3 planes. In my own province, it's crazy. Ontario is huge. It's huge. And flying is freaking expensive. I went to Vegas cheaper than this trip. But all worked out. On my way there, it all worked out. On the way back, not so much, but I'll talk about that in a second. So my sister lives in Toronto, so I was able to stay with her and my little nephew, Judah, who, if you are new here, my sister and her husband just adopted a little baby boy this summer. So, he's going to be turning 1 in this month. So that's so exciting. And I just love spending time with him. Yes. And my sister, of course. It was really nice because my birthday was actually October 22nd. And I never really get to be around family near my birthday. So my sister was so sweet. And she had planned a turkey dinner because I also didn't get a turkey dinner this year. So we had a little turkey dinner and she had some gifts for me and a cheesecake. And it was just so nice to be able to spend some time with my sister and my little nephew, and then go to see my friend get married. It was a great weekend. Everything worked out great until my trip back. I was flying out Sunday night, and I was supposed to arrive back here Monday morning and go straight to teaching. Yeah, no, that didn't happen. I had to fly to Thunder Bay, so that flight went fine. It was a 9 o'clock flight, got in at 11. Go to the airport the next morning, and was it the next morning or did they phone me? Oh, okay. It was a busy week. Oh yes, right. I'm flying out of Toronto. Okay, so I've already come to Toronto through Thunder Bay. Went to the wedding. I'm flying out of Toronto. First of all, I never fly out of the Toronto airport because it's huge. I'm used to flying out of Thunder Bay or Winnipeg or Ottawa airports, which are much smaller, much easier to navigate. Toronto's huge. If I have to fly through Toronto, I always try to go through Porter because it's a tiny little, it's just easier. But I get there at the airport and I'm an hour early because that's what I always do. And there's this massive line. So I'm in the line and I'm oh my word, I am going to miss my flight. I should have come 2 hours early. I'm in the line for 10 minutes. I'm this doesn't seem right. What's going on here? Yeah, I was in the international line. Not domestic flight line. Thankfully, I realized that. Went to the right spot. Was easy. No waiting. Go through security. Had a little hiccup in security because of my knitting needles, which has never happened to me. I've always flown with knitting needles, and it's never been a problem. But this time, they flagged them. I mean, I didn't have to get rid of them, thank goodness. But because they're my little Chow Goo, part of my Chow Goo set, and I would have I would have been very unhappy. She just poked at them for a second and put them through. So it was a couple of minutes of, but then it was fine. Go to board, get there just in time to board. My license has expired. I totally forgot all about that. So another minute of panic. I was just like, oh my word. Because, yeah. She's like, yeah, I can't let you fly. I was like, what? I was freaking out. Trying to be calm, but yeah. She's like, yeah, just wait here. I'm going to call my supervisor. And so they called the supervisor over. And after a couple minutes of panic on my part, they're like, well, because Thunder Bay should have caught this, you were going to let you go back. I was like, oh. As soon as I got to the hotel that night, I renewed my license. Yeah. Oh, panic. Oh, traveling is so much anxiety. Anyways. Oh, yeah. So my next day flights were canceled. Different airline. They didn't have enough crew. And at first they say, okay, your morning flight, I was supposed to fly out at 8 a.m. It's canceled. And now you're going to fly out at 2. I was like, okay. Phone the hotel. Can I get an extra late check-in, like leave at 12? Yeah, no problem. Okay. Had a relaxing morning. It was nice to sleep in. I'm missing work though, so that sucked. And then I go to the airport at 2 for 2 o'clock. And yeah, sorry, your flight's not leaving today. What? Oh, and I had to call the hotel. I'm like, hi, you just dropped me off, but can you pick me back up? And do you have a room tonight? So yeah, I spent the whole day, Monday, in Thunder Bay. And it was thankfully they had one more seat on the morning flight. Otherwise they were going to have to send me in the evening and I was going to have to miss 2 days of work. And it was Halloween. I didn't want to miss Halloween with my class. I wanted to be Miss Frizzle. I have had that costume for 2 years and I haven't been able to wear it. So it all worked out. I arrived Tuesday morning, went straight to my house, changed into my costume, got to spend the day with my kids, and then Halloween was tons of fun. So here, they do Halloween a little different, where at... you have teachers. The teachers give candy from 5 to 6:30, and then after that, no more. But there's a ton of kids, a ton. You're gonna have 1,000 kids come to your door, and it was freezing cold. It's full winter here now. So I got dressed up warm and got my snow pants, my parka, hat, mitts, everything, and my candy. And parked myself outside my door for a minute because the kids come so much. It's kind of pointless to stand in your door. You're just going to freeze your house. And I didn't want to do that with all my plants. I am a crazy plant lady too. So, I was outside and it was cold. When I moved inside, but I ran out of my candy quick. Then I'm running around trying to find stuff. But I had still prizes for my kids that I had bought, so I ended up giving out fidget spinners and Play-Doh and tattoos. Kids are like, how come you don't have candy? I'm like, I'm sorry, I ran out. And then I just went inside and locked the door, and a couple people knocked after that, but I was done. I had no more candy, and I was frozen. It took me all night to get warm. Oh. Couple other teachers were saying the same thing, but it's so fun. I love seeing all the kids and their costumes, and yes, so yeah, that was Halloween. Yeah, so a little embarrassing story. A knitting embarrassing story. The Wednesday before I left, okay, we have a new teacher here, and he's working in my grade, but we haven't really met. We just hi, so he doesn't really know who I am. Anyways, I was outside at bus duty, and my knitting eyes immediately spied hand knit mitts. So I went rushing over there, and grabbed his hand and was looking at his mitts. Oh my word. I didn't even think about it at the time. I was like, oh my word. He was wearing trigger mitts. From, if you've ever heard of this book, Saltwater Gifts. There's a couple different ones. There's Saltwater. They have a couple different books, but they're basically from Newfoundland, and yeah, there's lots of different patterns. I have been dying to make those trigger mitts for a long time. So like here, this is they're basically, the pointer finger is separate than the rest of your hand. And I just think that's genius. I've been wanting to make, like, he literally was wearing these mitts, except blue. So I like went over and like looking at his hand, not even thinking. And he's just standing there, I didn't even think about it till I got home. And then I was like, oh my gosh, Jen. Oh my gosh. Poor guy is really like, who is this crazy woman just coming over and grabbing his hand? Oh, all I saw were the mitts. So that is definitely on my to-do list. I want to make these. I wanted to make these for so long. I have had this book for a while. I've made the gloves. They have gloves in here that these ones. The Iceberg Alley Fine gloves. I've made them. And I really like them. So, yes, that's on my to-do list. Saltwater Gifts and my embarrassing story. All right, well, knitting. What am I wearing? I am wearing my Stormy Seas shawl by Jody Brown. So I made this quite a while ago. It's not even on my Ravelry. I don't know what I was thinking when I made this, but I did not weave in ends. I tied knots. So I have these. Foolish when you start knitting. Anyways, I kind of weave them in like this when I'm wearing them, so you can't really see. But yeah, it bothers me. You can see them. I would never do that again. I don't know what I was thinking. Being lazy maybe, but weaving in ends isn't even that bad. I really like the shawl though. I forget where I got the yarn. I think it's Yarn Ink, but I'm not sure. Yeah. And it's so fun and autumnal, and well, these are my colors. These greens and grays and orange. Yeah. So it's a fun shawl. Finished objects. You know, looking back, I realized I never actually showed you my finished object of Pascal to wear with my costume. I had started him, but I don't think I showed you the finished object. So here's my little guy. Here's my little Pascal. He's so cute. I mean, like I said before, I know he's the wrong lizard for Miss Frizzle, but I love this pattern, so I made him. He's so cute, those little eyeballs. And yeah, I'm going to give him to my nephew, Shepherd, for Christmas, because I have to fix the tail a bit. My students loved him. I wore him like tucked in my dress like that, basically, on Halloween, and my students freaking loved him, and they handled him a lot, so he'll be okay. I just need to fix this part. He can handle a rough, though. He can handle it. So my little, how old is Shepherd? He's not 5 yet, is he? He's 5. I think he's turning 6 soon. In the summer? Does he turn 6 in the summer? Oh my word. Anyways, so yeah, Christmas gift done. He's so cute. So cute. Little Pascal. All right. So then, of course, I was talking about this the last time. School run headband. This one I did with mohair and fingering, and looking at the pattern, I realized that you were supposed to, it wasn't a fingering weight pattern. It was fingering head double, and I don't know how I missed reading that. But anyways, so this is nice and warm. Yeah, so cute. Definitely making more. School Run Headband by Laura Penrose. So easy. Warm, quick knit. It was such a great gift. Knit. Highly recommend that pattern. It'll all be linked in the description. And, finally, my nephew's sweater, Micah's Raglan is what it's called. And I did the size 10. And it's just a simple cable all the way down. So I finished the sleeves. I haven't blocked it yet. I don't know if I want to block it. I'm afraid to block it because it's superwash and I know it's going to grow, which is fine. I know the sleeves are going to get longer, but you can just roll them up if they're too long. And this folded over brim collar is just, I love it. Yeah, so really pleased with it. I did not alternate yarn, but it doesn't look bad. Like, you can't tell. It's just variegated. So that is finished. 2 Christmas gifts. That's 2 Christmas gifts I've done now. Pascal and the sweater. I need to start. Callan is the oldest of 3, and so I need to start the middle child sweater next. Size 6. Won't take me as long, but I will work on that later because this week is hat week. I have, how many? 1, 2, 3, 6 skeins of bulky weight yarn that I want to turn into hats for a Christmas sale. It's coming up in December, so that is my priority this week, to see how many I can get done. Speaking of hats, I said I was going to start socks and use that as my travel knitting. No, I did not. Oops. And I've lost stitches here. I decided to cast on a muscle burl hat. There we go. So this is going to be for my uncle, a Christmas gift for my uncle. And all it is a giant tube. So this yarn is very interesting. This is Wolf Girl by Ginger Snap That, and it's turning out very interesting. These it's like brown and blue and gray, and they're in this kind of pattern. Just gonna be interesting. I'm a little nervous. So with this pattern, you just make like a giant tube and then you fold it into itself and then fold it up. So it'll be 4 layers for the brim, which is great. I'm nervous it's too big. I really need to put it on my barber cords and try it on and see. I mean, obviously he's got a bigger head than me, but yeah. Anyways, this is going to take me a long time, but I did get this much done. So, I mean, that's pretty good. I did knit a lot during my trip. It is fingering weight, but it's just pure stockinette. And yeah, great TV knitting. So hopefully I'll get that done before December. Yeah, and we'll see how it goes. Hopefully it fits. Last hat. I just started this today, but this is one of the skeins that I want to use to turn into a hat. And I'm just using the Tin Can Knits Antler. So I'm kind of hacking a bit. This is bulky weight yarn. Their pattern is for worsted. But what I did is I'm using 5.5mm needles for the brim. And I'm using the smallest size. So the cast on is 75, I think, or 76 stitches for a small, but to make a regular adult size, I'm just doing 76 or something like that in the bulky, and I'm gonna follow the side. I can't talk. The measurements for the large in the pattern, but I'm using the small stitches, and I think that's gonna work. Yeah, I think it'll work. I did it before, but I never wrote down what I did, so I have to try and remember. And I have a few skeins I'm going to just turn into that because bulky weight's great. Easy, quick knit. And yeah. So that's my priority this week, is turning out hats. And then I can focus on Soren's sweater next week. And their stuffies. I need to make their stuffies still. Oh, I just want to make them so bad. Maybe next weekend. That'll be my priority. We'll see. Maybe next episode we'll have some Mario and Luigi stuffies. They won't take long once they get started because they're so addictive, you know, and they don't really, they're small. They're like this small, so they don't take long. Lots of different colors though using, so that'll be a little different because, but it's not in Tarja. It's just switching because you got their shoes and their pants and their, you know, shirts and their faces and their hats and everything are all going to be different colors, but they're all, so yeah, hopefully. Of course, when I went to Toronto, of course I went shopping for yarn. My sister took me to a yarn store. I wanted to get some yarn to knit Judah a little hat and mitts for Christmas. And also, like I've mentioned before, I'm going to make Darth Vader and Stormtrooper hats for my nephews. So I had to get yarn for that. I just went in. The lady was so nice. I was just like, I need DK black and white. So I got a lot of this double Sunday from Santa's Garn. It's nice. It's 100% wool. Yes. Yeah. 100% merino wool. But it's pretty soft. So shouldn't be too bad. I got black and white. So it's kind of like an off-white, but that'll look nice together for Darth Vader and Stormtroopers. And then I wanted to make one for my friend too. Well, no, I'm not sure if I'll be able to get it done in time, but if not, I'll give it to him in the winter. He likes Darth Vader a lot too. So, but I didn't want to make him white. So he's going to be gray and black. Yeah. So that's the projects. And of course I had to pick up some other stuff that looked fun. I've been seeing a lot of this. So I picked this up. This is like a sparkle thread that you can hold with your knitting to make it sparkly. So yeah. There is 560 meters on here. Like that's a lot. That's a lot. That'll make a lot of different things. Hats maybe. And this one is 112 meters. So yeah, it's fun. I got silver. Try it out. Try it out. And of course, if you watch my episodes in the summer, you know I'm obsessed with silk. So I got some knitting for Olive Pure Silk. And yeah, this is going to become a bra, which I will never show you. So, because that's just weird. But Naked Knit, if you look them up, they've got a lot of fun projects. So I'm going to make one of theirs with this. I think that's about it. Oh yes, we had a bunch of people. Every year people donate things to the school. I know they mean well, but sometimes they send a lot of garbage. Like people, when you're donating things, don't send garbage. If it's stained or ripped, why? They threw out a lot of stuff yesterday, this week, but a lot of good stuff too. So that was good. I got a lot of mittens for my class, which is great because they always, yeah. I keep a stash of mittens in my class. I need to knit some more for it, but it's always great when I can pick up some free. So I got a couple pairs of mitts from there. So that was good. And they had a bunch of yarn, and everybody is, of course, everyone at school knows I knit, and they kept bringing me yarn, but a lot of it was like acrylic, or I didn't know what it was. And, you know, try not to be too much of a snob, but up here, wool's just better because it's cold. It's cold, and acrylic is just not going to keep you as warm. So I only want your 100% wool. and I found some. So it's old, but whatever, still works. Aran yarn for fisherman knits. Pure virgin wool. Made by the Hudson Bay Company. Who knows how old this is, but 2 skeins of like a cream color. Be perfect for color work hats or any kind of hat. So yeah, or mitts, anything. That's everything. Kind of rambling. Hope you enjoyed my embarrassing stories. Oh my gosh. Have you ever done that? Gushed over somebody's knits and then realized? I mean, it can make you friends when you're out in public, you know, and you see hand knits. I've done that before. Met old ladies on, not even old ladies. I shouldn't say that because I'm almost an old lady now. Oh, but meeting ladies or men on the planes, trains, and they see you're knitting. I had a guy talking to me about his knitting. The guy was sitting beside me, actually. He was like, oh, I crochet. What are you making? So, creates conversations. And sometimes you embarrass yourself. Oh, well. Yeah, I'm going to get to knitting my hats. And we'll see how many I can get done in the next week. See what we got. All right. Well, take care.